Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. You may wonder, well, where the hell is Barry at today? Well, we're actually out here in Pennsylvania, here for a great time, and I tell you this, we started off the day very well. I had a great chance of being in Atlantic City, and I stayed over at the Tropicana, and I tell you this, a lot of people always think as soon as you go to Atlantic City that, it always pertains to gambling, but, I actually had a great time yesterday. It was actually one of the, few times that I've been to Atlantic City and didn't gamble at all. And I think that, like I said, the common misconception is that, people only go to Atlantic City to gamble, but, I might be one of those foodies out there that absolutely loves Carmine. Shout out to Doc when she put me on the Carmine's, but it's become one of my favorite places to eat at in Atlantic City. So if you ever get a chance to, and you're out there, make sure you go check out Carmine's, because I had the Carmine's wings. They were absolutely fire. And then also, we had, I think it was the chicken parm, and, it's always funny because, I don't know if anybody else out there is like that, but, when I have my dishes that I like to go get when I eat, there's, places where I go where I don't even look at the menu. It's like I already know what I want. I tell them what I'm going to get, and that's that. But, Carmine's is one of those places where I always know what I'm going to get, and it's Carmine's wings, chicken parm, and that penne vodka. So if you ever get a chance to go check them out over there. But also got a chance to go to Gilchrist. Shout out to them. One of the things that I always like, especially when it comes to breakfast food, is you're hungry when you just wake up and you don't want to wait for it. And me and Say had the it was funny. We went to a hat drop last Thursday, and me and Say were hyping up this one bagel spot because we went there before. And, it was fire, but, when we came here this last time, and especially when it's breakfast time and you're trying to eat, you're not trying to wait around for your food, man. And these people over at the bagel spot in Teaneck took like 30 minutes just to make like a bagel sandwich and some fries for me and Say, and we were like, yo, this is ridiculous. But I'd say that story to say that, whenever I went to Gilchrist, and especially like this last time, you barely wait any time, and the food is so fresh, and that's one of the other places I like to go to when I go to Atlantic City. So if you get a chance to go to Gilchrist, but I went and I had a conversation with my boy Jeff. Shout out to Jeff Farrell. He was actually he was making fun of me because whenever I go to Atlantic City, I like to put in some sports parlays, and the parlays that I gave the parlay that I did give him was absolutely garbage. I told him to bet on the Cubs, and to bet on the Dodgers, and we see what happened last night where the Cubs throw a combined no-hitter. I mean, come on. That only happens when I put the money on the Dodgers, right? So one of the things, like I said, I like to do is, put in sports bets when I go out to Atlantic City. And, the cool thing about it is, and you don't have this opportunity now that I'm in Pennsylvania when you can just go on the app and put in a bet. But, I tell you what, just going out there and being able to watch some games and putting a little bit on the line for it, that's what makes it all fun when I go out there. So, I definitely appreciate going there. But, I put in some bets. We hit breakfast, and, I had to leave early this morning because I had this bowling tournament, and, I bring back Jeff to say, when I told him that I was going to be going to Atlantic City and then coming over here to Pennsylvania, not even, less than a day later, he's like, yo, man, I don't know how you do it, bro. I wouldn't be able to go out there just for, a couple hours and then come back. And, I think of it this way, and this is the way, like, not even in terms of just going to a bowling tournament, but this is kind of like the way that I conduct my life and conduct everything. And, it goes down like this. I feel like we only have 24 hours in a day, man, and that's a fact. Like, we know that we only have 24 hours in a day. And I feel like any time that I'm living and breathing and I'm able to wake up the next morning, I want to make the most out of those 24 hours in the day. Now, most people like to sleep in, most people like to, go do other things. But, for me, I've chosen to be, lead an active life as I've entered into my 30s, and had a nice night with Doc. Went out to Atlantic City the night before, had a great time, but like I said, we had this bowling tournament upcoming, and also we had the great opportunity of having a golf outing with the guys, with some of the guys that we bowl with, which was so much fun, and I'll get into that too. But the drive from Atlantic City was about 2.5 hours, right? And I was like, man, do I want to fucking drive 2.5 hours? Like, I could have stayed in Atlantic City and done the whole, stay out there and go to the outlets and go to the casino again. I could have done that, but we had made these plans to have the foursome go out for golfing, and I'm so glad that we had done that, because you couldn't have picked a more beautiful day than what we had today. Didn't seem like there was a cloud in the sky. A lot of times when you're going golfing, it can be quite humid, which doesn't exactly make for the most ideal conditions. Let's just say we did not walk this 18 today. We definitely took the golf cart, but I enjoyed the golf event that we had. I think, what was the place called? Royal Oaks.
Royal Oaks.
So we went to Royal Oaks Country Club, and
in Lebanon.
It was awesome, man. And I feel like, especially when we talk about challenging ourselves before, and when it comes to playing basketball, or at your job, or any type of walk in life, I feel like you always got to try and challenge yourself. And the key for me was, at this course, a lot of times when I'm going into my golf game, I struggle with three putting when you get to the green, and trying to make those right chips to set up the next shot. And this was a very challenging course because it was wide open, and there's a lot of par fives and par fours, and like I said, where we go to Raritan Landing, we're not used to such longer conditions. So I definitely enjoyed challenging myself, and we even said it at the beginning of the round. The one guy, Jamil, shout out to him, he was playing from the blues, which are the very back of the golf course. And my dad was like, are we going to be playing the whites or the blues? And I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. I'm going to challenge myself. I'll go from the blues. And I'm glad I did, because, through all the round, and, through the tough holes and the shoulda, woulda, couldas, I actually ended the day with a par on the par four. And that's huge, man, because it takes, people don't realize, it's like, you can have such a great drive off the tee and then absolutely fuck up the next shot if you chunk it, or
So right.
Do some wild shit. And it's the most frustrating thing, because you're like, damn, man, I had a great chance at this par, or this birdie or whatever. And I just showed myself today that even playing from the blues at a place that I've never played at, I survived it, man. And I wanted to bring up the golf outing that we had today. Shout out to Jamil, shout out to my father, and then also a huge shout out to my boy Frank Jones, because what happened was, he, on the 11th hole, had his first hole in one. And me and my dad, we were saying, there's got to be some sort of good luck surrounding us or something, because that was the second hole in the one in this golf year that we've been able to be a part of. Now, most people golf, and you've never seen a hole in one happen ever, and me and my dad were lucky enough to be able to see two of them, and the second one being today with Frank Jones. And it was crazy because, we were just talking before about how, Frank was struggling with keeping his head down on the ball. And it's just like any type of hand-eye coordination sport where, if you don't keep your eye on the ball, you're not going to fucking hit the ball, man. Like, it's crazy. And, we told that to Frank, and he literally applied the feedback directly. And what we saw was the ball, like, it was like the straightest shot that he had ever, like, shot in the whole afternoon. And the ball just went completely straight and just rolled on the green. Like, it hit the green, and it just kept rolling forward. I'm like, oh, man, this motherfucker's about to get it in. And then sure enough, it rolled in, man. And it was a great feeling. Like, my dad couldn't wait to take out the camera so that he could, enjoy the moment of having a hole in one. And, I think that, and this is, this can also talk about not just, like, the actual act of it happening, but also what it means to have good friends around you and have the positive influences around you. Because when we were at the last hole in one at Raritan Landing with some random dude that we were golfing with, and the guys that were behind us on I guess they were behind us on the tee. They had saw that the guy that we were golfing with had the hole in one. He's like, "Oh, is that your guy's first hole in one? All right, cool." Yeah. Just like such negative vibes, man. Like, what's up with this dude,
exactly.
man?
Jealousy.
And here we had a situation where we're all there, and we were just all hyped for this dude, man, and everybody was going nuts. And even the guy behind, he was like, "Yo, make sure you go to the pro shop so he can get a certificate that shows he got the hole in one." And it was just a great feeling and great to be a part of. Frank was on the phone the whole ride up to the ball, and he came up with his stogie and his beer in his hand. And, that's all you can want, man, especially for what the golf outing was supposed to be, and just making sure that everybody could come together and enjoy and compete together. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, Jamil and my dad were literally just going at it all afternoon, talking shit, and that's the type of things that you can not only translate to just here golfing, but to when we go into the tournament tomorrow and Sunday, which brings me to the whole point of why we're even here. And I said it before, it's all about how much you can fit into 24 hours in the day, man. And I feel like I got all eternity to sleep when it's all said and done for me. So as long as I'm living and breathing, I want to make the most of this. And this trip that we're on right now, it's for the Bologna tournament, which is I think out in like Palmyra or something like that. Is that where the Palmyra Lanes? Is that where we're bowling at? I'm not sure, but I think
it's two. There's 2 lanes.
There's 2 different lanes?
Yeah, each day.
Okay, so we're going to be bowling on 2 different lanes for this Bologna tournament. And it's something that we all, as a group from all the different bowling alleys, whether we're at Greenbrook, Majestic, Bowlmore, Bolero, all of us, we just band together and just go out to this tournament together. And it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's like, starts the summer pretty much for us. And, this will be one of the first times that I bowl doubles since we bowled states before the stoppage. So it's an event where we get to bowl team, singles, doubles, and we bowl Saturday, which is tomorrow, and then also on Sunday for 2 events. So there's a lot of bowling, and I'm just so excited because the last time I was out at a tournament that was at Majestic, shout out to Angie, who I'm going to be bowling with tomorrow in the team event. Shout out to Bernard, and then also shout out to Jody, my father. We're going to be bowling on a team called Pressure Proof. But the last time I was in a tournament, I was with Angie, and I didn't put my best foot forward. I had a really good first game, but I just couldn't figure it out. And I think that as the tournament went on, Angie figured it out. And I think that it's what people don't realize is bowling is such a team sport, because you can be the best bowler, but if you're not vibing with that teammate or that person that you're bowling with, you're not going to get the results as a team. So me and Angie have had a great vibe, and even with the team that I'm bowling with, and even with my father bowling, like I've had great vibes with these people. But I think that having those great vibes, you also don't want to let those people down. And I felt like the last tournament performance that I had wasn't my best, and I left some cheese on the table, and I hate that. I hate that feeling that you could have done more, you could have done better, and you just didn't put it out there. So I feel like this tournament, not only is it an opportunity to relax. I just was in the pool earlier. People were like, "Yo, how's the water?" It's like, "Yo, why don't you come jump in, man? Shit cool, man." And got some seltzers. I'm gonna be reviewing a seltzer on the show a little bit later. But I view this definitely as a trip, and something that is definitely a getaway. And regardless of the fact that we are away, you still got to maintain the fact of what the purpose is. And the purpose for us is to be successful bowling in this tournament. And I think that success, especially in a team sport, goes a long way. from what your mentality is going into it. And I feel like, especially when we talk about putting so much into a 24-hour day, I feel like I've done so much over these past 24 hours as far as going to Atlantic City, as far as, going golfing with a lot of my friends and with my father, and sharing that experience, seeing a hole in one, and then coming and just relaxing in the pool and just being in a place that isn't home. That I can't tell you what that does as far as putting you in the mentality to try and go out there and succeed. And I think that we're ready for this baloney tournament, and I can't wait. But I think that one thing that goes hand in hand with that is confidence. And you can't go into tournaments not feeling confident and not feeling like you can go out there and put your best foot forward to help your team. And I feel like one person that we have to talk about that's getting a huge amount of flack as far as what he didn't do to help his team, and that's Ben Simmons.
Sure enough.
And a lot of people have been asking me, is Ben Simmons played his last game in Philly? And I don't see how you can put faith in a guy to put on that uniform to go out there and defend Philadelphia for you if the guy's afraid to shoot a fucking layup, man. That I was literally sitting watching that game, and I couldn't believe when he had the wide open shot and he just dished it off the thigh ball or whatever. But like, it wasn't just the fact that he dished it, it was the fact that he didn't even look at the basket. He didn't even look to score. And I think that one of the things, especially when it comes to basketball, or if you've played organized basketball before, they always tell you that basketball is such a reactionary sport. You got to be able to know the counter move to whatever that guy is going to do to you. And what that showed me was when Ben Simmons got the ball, he already had it in his mind that he was going to pass the ball. And you can't play successful basketball if you already have predetermined outcomes from what you want to do with the basketball. And that put him in a huge disadvantage. And we can talk about the playoff not successfulness or ineffectiveness of Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter. We can talk about what he didn't do for a long time. But the fact of the matter is, and I want to make this a teachable moment for not just the listeners out here, but for any type of athlete that's listening in or whatever, when you do not play confidently or you do not trust the work that you've put in, you put your team in a extreme disadvantage. And the thing is, especially if you're on like the minor league level, whether you're on the collegiate level, even at the recreational level, you need to go out there with confidence and take what's yours. And I think that a lot of times when you go out playing games not to lose instead of going out trying to win, that's when you leave up to chance and you leave it up to someone else that might be more hungrier than you are to get the successful thing that you want. So, I think that the biggest teachable moment that we can have here from Ben Simmons absolutely laying an egg all of the postseason in the fourth quarter is, just be confident. And even not even at the sporting level, even if you don't feel confident putting on something, article of clothing, or if you don't feel comfortable, go step out of your comfort zone, man. Feel comfortable and be confident in yourself, because confidence can go a long way. I feel like the more successful people that we have, confidence is a huge underlier as far as how they've gotten to that place. Now, granted, confidence can also be a killer too. Like, I think the biggest counter to confidence is humility, and being, taught that humility by someone that you're competing with against. And, I think that as long as you can remain humble in your confidence, then the sky's the limit, man. And what I saw from Ben Simmons was a complete zero of confidence. And if you have somebody that doesn't have the confidence in the work that they put in, that makes you question what the work that they've put in to get to this point has been, right? And it's like you can't be at the NBA level, especially with an evolving game that the NBA is consistently. You can't have that and not have a jump shot and be okay with just passing the ball when you're 6'11". How can anybody in Philadelphia trust this man again to get you to the place when you have to go? When Doc Rivers is even saying he doesn't know if this guy is the point guard of the franchise to take them to a championship. And when your own coach doesn't have doubts on you, you've seen what that does. It absolutely killed Frank Ntilikina's career here in New York. The confidence is huge, man. And if you don't have people that believe in you, especially in a city like Philadelphia that's as diehard as any other city in this, that comes down to sports, I just don't see how Ben Simmons can put on a Philly uniform again, or how anybody can, believe in him. But the one person who you really should believe in, shout out to Hawks, because he said it before I could get to it. But that boy Trae Young is absolutely a monster, man. And I've been somebody that doubted him. I didn't think he was tough enough. I didn't think that he was challenged enough, and I thought that he was getting the Luka treatment that people tend to give when you're getting all these stats and you're scoring points, but your team's not having the outcome. But you can't make that argument for Trae Young anymore, because he's going out there and winning games for the Atlanta Hawks. I think Charles Barkley made a joke where he's like, when's the last time we had a Hawks game? The Hawks have played people, but when have we had a Hawks game, right? And I think that that's a huge statement, because what Trae Young is doing is he's rewriting the franchise record books here for the Hawks, man, and giving people like Hawks 6'8", 68, 60 a reason to be a Hawks fan, a reason to be proud to, right? We got a lot of proud Knicks fans, but how many proud Hawks fans do you really know, right? And I think that Trae Young, that effect that he's had has extended not just from scoring points and getting this team just to the conference finals, but Trae Young has revitalized that entire franchise. He's made the Atlanta Hawks a relevant team, man, and it's crazy just how relevant you can be when you're confident in yourself and your team's having success, man. I really, and that kind of also leads me to the next thing that people have been asking me as well, is like, well, shit, now that Brooklyn's out, you picked Brooklyn, what's your next team that you think is going to be the team to win it all? And honestly, right now, I gotta say the Phoenix Suns are looking good in my book. Even though I just talked about how good Trae Young is, I feel like the Suns have more proven players, more experienced players that have been there, done that, and can elevate the Suns. I mean, the Chris Paul effect is real, guys, and I think people now, I still feel like people don't appreciate what Chris Paul does on a regular basis, but I think once he retires, he's going to be one of those players that we're going to appreciate a lot more once he's done playing the game. But he's got so much left in the tank, and what he's done for Devin Booker, what he's done for Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, that dunk at the end to win Game 2, even though they lost Game 3. I truly believe that the Suns are a force to reckon with, and they're as long as Chris Paul stays healthy, as long as Devin Booker can still go out there and get the buckets when he needs to. I like the Suns very much, and who knows with this Hawks-Bucks series. Giannis is good. Trae Young has been an absolute warrior, but it's really going to come down to those role players. I mean, what is Drew Holiday going to do for consistently? I know he did some great things to help them beat Brooklyn, but can he do it again for another series? You talk about Atlanta. Kevin Huerter was a huge hero for them in closing out Philly, but can he do it again? The role players are really gonna be the huge things, because Trae Young's going to get his 30. He's going to get that floater. He's going to hit the step back. And that Giannis is going to, with absolutely no offensive bag, is still going to get 25 points just off of length. But, the key is, what are those role players going to do to not only solidify their ticket to the NBA Finals, but also to establish themselves in that franchise for many, many more years to come, man. And I think that now that I've talked so much, I feel like, I'm so thirsty. And you thought that just because we were away, just because, we're not at the usual location, that we wouldn't have a review. Nah, that's not how we do it over here at the Talk That Talk Show. We got another review for you here, and we're going to bring it back to Truly's because I don't think I've had this one before. But they had a berry pack at one of the I think it was Sheets or something. But I was like, yo, let me try this shit out, man. So here we have the Truly Blueberry and Acai Hard Seltzer. And, I like I said, man, I probably went a good 5-6 episodes now where I've just been trying seltzers, but for me it's been the way to go, especially because I feel like they don't fill me up. It's not too heavy, and I can have a bunch of them and still be active and ready to go, right? So for everyone out there, check out this Truly Blueberry Acai Hard Seltzer. I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a rating from 0 to 10 after I try this out. So let's see how it goes. Glug 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 glug. Yeah. I tell you this. The blueberry isn't that strong. Like it's not like it really punches you that much. Like I felt like before I had it, I thought it was going to be like too much or too flavorful. But this isn't bad, man. I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10. Because I feel like, I would drink 3 or 4 of these, man. Just because the blueberry isn't too overpowering. Because I don't really like blueberries. Like, I'm not a blueberry type guy, but I'll have this blueberry and acai. But, yo, thank you to everybody that's tuned in on our Facebook Live. Shout out to Robert Brantley Jr. Shout out to Rob Warwigan. Shout out to Hawks. Brett Shanker on Instagram live stream. That boy heard. Zach Dunsavage. But I tell you what, even though I was in the pool and was having such a great time and was tired from golfing and like I said, fit so much into the day, I wanted to make sure that I came out and did another episode because even though, I'm away in Pennsylvania and even though this isn't my normal location or normal time, I wanted to make sure because I make a promise to you at the end of every episode that I'm going to come back next week with another episode. And a lot of people depend on it. We've had, I think we just eclipsed 16,000 downloads as well, too. So, we're rising. We're rising with the amount of downloads and the amount of people that are supporting this show. So, your contribution is not going unnoticed, and I just want to thank everyone out there that tunes in, whether you're on Facebook live stream, whether you're on Instagram live stream, whether you're out there on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whether you went to the Talk That Talk Show website. I appreciate everybody that continues to support this show and support this mission. I've seen this come such a long way, and I'm never not appreciating or not understanding the growth that it's taken to get to this point. And that is why even on vacation or whatever you want to call it, or even at a tournament, I thought it was very important to handle my responsibilities. And that responsibility is delivering you all a talk show every single Friday night. So once again, thank you to my sponsors. Not VW. I miss them, man. I really do. But
here we are.
Yeah, we miss them so much. But Air We Are. Want to give a big shout out to them. My boy Jeff Galata. He's helping people in the South Side every single day, getting their heating and air conditioning needs fulfilled. Want to give a shout out to my boy Joe Snow and Maria over at New York Life. If you need some financial freedom, please don't hesitate to hit up my boy Joe Snow. He will help you and put you on the right path, right? Also want to give a shout out to my boy Savion over at Skydye Socks. He's killing it in the custom game. If you need something customized and tie-dyed, please hit up my boy Savion Gaynor. His line is always open, but don't play with him, all right? I know he's gonna love that one. And then finally, want to give a huge shout out to my boy Timmy Hugel over at Ink Parlor. He helped me to make these dope OG 12s. First time that we've had the the tank top edition. Shout out to Alvin, who actually got himself an OG12 as well too. But guys, this is the first time I put it on here in PA. I'll be rocking it at Hollywood Casino tonight. Shout out to my boy Lynch, who just pulled up in the parking lot. We're gonna go to the casino after this show, man. I'm so excited to see him. I haven't seen him since college, so that's been damn near about 7-8 years from now, man. And I think that the main thing that I also want to say before I get off this air is that, for those friends that you have out there that you haven't seen in a while and that, you do reconnect with, appreciate that time, because, when me and Lynch last saw each other, at York College, I bet we didn't think that we'd go this long without seeing each other, or without, for all the time that we did spend. And I think that a lot of times that we overlook, or we don't appreciate as much those friends that not only that we don't see every day, but also the friends that we do see every day, because we take for granted that time. And I think that I have been someone that over the years I may have taken my time with people for granted. And I think that in my latter years I appreciate and understand the value that people have, and the time, because when I got more time from losing my job, I started to appreciate just how much time that I wasn't giving to myself and to the other people that cared about me as well too. So I'm not sitting here saying that working takes away from time that you have, because in essence it does. But the main thing is that for the time that you do spend with those people, and the time that you do spend, even like I said, with my people golfing, and like the people that we're going to be bowling with in these tournaments in these next 2 days, I just want to appreciate the time that I have and just live in that moment, because that's what life is all about, man. If you don't have a reason to wake up and to live a full 24-hour day, it's going to be a long 24-hour day for you, man. So I'm just blessed that my days are full, and I have people that want to spend time with me in those days. So you guys all are a part of that as well too on this podcast. I'd love to sit here all night and talk with you, but like I said, I got to go to Hollywood Casino. I got some drinks, and I got some people to see and have some fun. So if you're coming out with us, meet us at Hollywood Casino. That's where we're going to be at. We're going to be pre-gaming a little bit in the room. So, let me have some fun, guys. But thank you so much for spending your Friday night with me. And just know, as long as I'm on this earth, every Friday night, you're going to have an episode of this Talk That Talk show. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you try out a Truly Blueberry Acai. It's not bad, guys. The Seltzer wave isn't as bad as you think it is. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and make smart and sound decisions. I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Alright, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My boy Zishan, make sure you send that beat, or let me know, Zishan. Lynch, I'm gonna text you right now and let you know what room number I'm in. I'll have a drink nice and ready for you. Guys, another episode of the Talk That Talk show in the books. And for anybody out there that asks me, is there going to be an episode? Don't even ask me. Every week, Friday, I'm going to have an episode for you. And I'm not going to let you down. So thank you so much, guys. Love you. See you next week.